Bobby Seigel. My question is to Farooq Saab, because he gave a very emotive speech. This morning, all the business leaders asked Mukesh Ambani, how can industry, what advice would he give industry that politicians trust them? My question is, can politicians trust each other? Can you answer this question, sir?
What?
Do the
politicians trust each other?
Do you trust each other sitting on the dais?
Politicians trust each other while your money is continuously coming to us. We shall keep on trusting each other so long as you give us equally. But if you don't give us equally, we will not trust each other.
My question adds on then, how do we put an end to this?
Pardon me?
How do we put an end to this nexus between
How do you
politics
put an
and
end to
business,
this kind of...
where business asks for the trust of politicians and politicians
I think we have to trust you and you have to trust us. That is, trust begets trust. That is something very important. If I have malice inside and my mouth speaks something different that is not inside, then there is no trust. So I have to be clear here. As a doctor, I have to be clear here. There's nothing here. It's only pump that beats. So I have to be clear here. And what I say, I have to be honest in what I'm saying. And that is why I say the politicians need the industrialists and industrialists needs the politician. So we have to have a damn good linkage, otherwise you will also sink and we will also sink with you.
Thank you, sir. That was the reason to provoke this question. Thank you.
Shivinder Singh from Fortis Healthcare. The question is to the panel. We talked about whether development gets votes or development doesn't get votes. I don't think it's a question that you can answer for the whole country. Mr. Modi is talking about what his experience is in Gujarat. Mr. Digvijay is talking about his experience in MP. How do you compare what's happened in Bihar for the last 20 years and the ruling party coming back time and again versus what your experiences have been?
As far as I'm to answer that question, Bihar, before its division, is a very rich mineral state. I went to Bihar during election time and I saw the state Bihar was in. I must confess, not now, but in the past, there has been misgovernance in Bihar. There is no doubt about it. And whoever is responsible, we all politicians are responsible, whether in center or state. We're all equally responsible for what happened. And I think what I would leave you with, as far as I'm concerned, I think it is responsibility of all senior leaders that are here, that we should make efforts that the future generation must be taught the right ways of running this country and running the parties. And that is what I say to these two large parties that really control India in a very big way, that it's high time they start having real leaders in the states rather than pulling leaders down because they disagree on some points. What we need is building leadership that can stand up and say, no, this is wrong.
Farooq, I will ask a question to both of you, because both of you
Why both of us? You should ask him.
Him,
He's a very important guy.
He'll get it, don't worry. He'll get it. But question I'm asking you, both of you, because then it comes to him automatically. That why both of you lost? Because he did a very good job. All the parameters, social parameters are up, and he was the chief inspector. Right? And you are the most charismatic leader and performing there as well. So I'm saying you are happy, good life.
I lost on two factors. One, because I openly opposed what Pakistan was doing in my state. One. Two, I lost because I introduced POTA. And I'm sorry to say, my friend here, his party, and all the others used that in a very big way to beat me. I passed POTA in my state, sir, when Centre hadn't done it. Why? Because I wanted to crush terrorism with as hard a force as possible. And that was my loss. Had I played it like the politicians play, oh, everything is all right, don't tell them ye kidhar se aa raha hai, wo terrorist kya hai, wo ye hai, wo hai. And then, on top of it, they will forgive me because they were in power in Delhi. If Farooq Abdullah would not lose, they could not tell the world that we have had a fair and a straightforward election. Farooq Abdullah had to lose to give credibility to that election. I hope now they won't do that this time.
लेकिन बताइए आप फिर in one small
Well, basically, 10 years anti-incumbency is something which is very difficult to defeat. Naren Bhai has got only 6 years of anti-incumbency last election. Let us see what he does in the 11th year of anti-incumbency, number one. Number two, I pushed the agenda for the Dalits, the scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, rather too strongly. Number three, I took a very strong action, very strong steps to reduce the non-plan expenditure, so the employees went against.
वो साहब मैं आपसे now coming back to
देखिए
you.
तो बीजेपी का
Let me ask.
17 इयर्स से हम गुजरात में पावर में है, 17 इयर्स, जैसे 18th ईयर,
Okay.
तो एंटी एस्टैब्लिशमेंट फैक्टर 17 इयर्स का तो बहुत होता है.
Yeah. There was because they broke the party. Then
17 years.
Yeah, Shankar Singh Waghela then defected. Then after that, in fact, they won 4 elections. That's true. But there is a perception over there. How you disbelieve that, disprove that if the Maut Ka Saudagar question was not raised, probably you would not have won. That's the perception in the rest of India's mind, that development became an issue earlier, but later on you gave that issue up and went for this kind of a...
देखिए आपके जितने पोल प्रिडिक्शन के सर्वे आए हैं इन अक्टूबर 2007, इलेक्शन हुआ दिसंबर 2007, अक्टूबर के सारे प्रिडिक्शन इंक्लूडिंग मेरे जो पिछले 5 साल से मेरे कारण जिनकी रोजी रोटी चलती है गाली दे करके, उनके प्रिडिक्शन भी ये कहते थे कि गुजरात में बीजेपी 110 से ज़्यादा लेगी, सबके प्रिडिक्शन थे. और कभी किसी ने ये नहीं कहा था गुजरात में बीजेपी हार जाएगी. और इसलिए किसी एक वाक्य के कारण जनमन बदल गया और मुझे वोट मिल गया, तो मित्रों हिंदुस्तान के हर इलेक्शन में ऐसा एक आध शब्द उछल जाता है, तो कहीं चुनाव की हुआ नहीं है. लेकिन चूंकि गुजरात को झूठे आरोप लगा करके इतना बदनाम किया गया है, और जब डेवलपमेंट के प्लैंक पर वो जीत करके आता है, वो विरोधी लोग पचा नहीं पा रहे हैं, इसलिए कह रहे हैं कि फलाने कारण जीत गए वरना तो हारना तय था. ये जो पिछले 6 साल से लगातार एक जो तूफान चलाया गया है, उनको एक सहारा मिल गया है बचने के लिए कि हाँ यार ये न बोलते तो मोदी का बनना तय था. तो ये शायद उनके काम आया है, मेरे काम नहीं आया है.
मोदी जी, मैं आपसे एक प्रश्न पूछना चाहता हूं.
जरूर पूछिए.
मुझे ये बताइए, वाजपेयी जी की सरकार, जिसने पाकिस्तान के साथ भी रिश्ता बहुत अच्छा किया, दुनिया में रिश्ता अच्छा करना, अमेरिकनों के साथ भी रिश्ता अच्छा किया, और डेवलपमेंट में भी पीछे नहीं रहे. ये आप नहीं कह सकते डेवलपमेंट में पीछे रहे. क्या वजह है? अगर हम ये डेवलपमेंट वगैरह कहते हैं कि वही हमें जिताता है, क्या वजह है कि आपकी पार्टी में लोगों को ये था कि हम 274 सीटें तो वैसे ही ले आएंगे? क्या हुआ कि आप लोग वो नहीं ला सके? मुझे ईमानदारी से बोलिए, व्हाट हैपेंड?
मुझे लगता है कि मैं आज उसका एनालिसिस करूंगा उचित नहीं होगा, और इसलिए मैं अपने कार्यक्षेत्र तक सीमित रहता हूं. मेरे गुजरात के बाहर इधर उधर मुंडी नहीं लगता हूं.
जनरल सेक्रेटरी थे
उस समय मैं
2004 में ही was the chief minister.
मैं फारूक साहब के साथ काम करता था, वो बताते रहिए.
आप कश्मीर में थे मेरे साथ.
मैं जम्मू कश्मीर में मेरी पार्टी का इंचार्ज था, और काफी पूरा उनका कार्यकाल में आई वाज हिज असिस्टेंट इन अ वे.
This is Vishal Chawla. I have a comment and a question. Comment for Mr. Digvijay Singh. Just now, Mr. Narendra Modi said that when such a committee came in and asked what you did for Muslims, what you did for Hindu, and you responded, I just worry about what I did for Gujarat. And in turn, Mr. Digvijay Singh goes back and asks the question, how many Muslims you make, and how many Muslims were allowed to get a ticket and stand in the election. That's like an oxymoron to basically the same statement that vote bank politics exactly start from this point of view. My question is to Mr. Narendra Modi that I totally believe in the development makes a difference. Since morning, we have heard from every kind of leader, Mukesh Ambani, Mr. Mittal, that the talent and the performance defines who you are and how we are going to get to the 21st century. You just said the same thing. However, two other of your colleagues differ from it. Why is that? And how we can change that? Thank you.
और कैसे बदलेंगे वो तो मैं नहीं कह सकता हूं, लेकिन शायद हालात सबको बदलेंगे। और मैं हालात देख रहा हूं, जिस प्रकार के कॉम्पिटिटिव एरा में हम एक आइसोलेटेड दुनिया में नहीं रह सकते। और तब जाकर के हमने, अब देखिए मेरा राज्य में मैं एक काम कर रहा हूं इन दिनों, शायद एशिया में आई बी द फर्स्ट स्टेट इन द कंट्री। मैं ब्रॉडबैंड कनेक्टिविटी मेरे सभी गांवों को दे रहा हूं। मैं उसमें बड़ा पागल की तरह लगा हूं, क्योंकि मुझे मालूम है, मुझे अगर लॉन्ग डिस्टेंस एजुकेशन देना है, मेरे गांव को मुझे इक्वल अपॉर्चुनिटी देना है, तो आई हैव टू डू दिस। और मैं लगा हूं उसमें। अब मुझे समझ है कि भाई आने वाले दिनों में ये चीज़ें काम करने वाली है। तो हो सकता है औरों को भी लगेगा कभी कि भाई ये कोई रास्ता है जिससे कुछ बदल आएगा। अगर हम देखिए रेलवे को क्रॉस करते हैं, रेलवे स्टेशन पे तो लिखा होता है कि शॉर्टकट विल कट यू शॉर्ट। मैं समझता हूं, मैं उससे बचना चाहता हूं। और मित्रों, मैं मानता हूं कि हमें लोग सरकार में अगला चुनाव जिताने के लिए नहीं बिठाते हैं। लोग हमें सरकार में बिठाते हैं उन 5 साल के भीतर उनके हालात में सुधार लाने के लिए। और मुझे अगले चुनाव पे मेरा ध्यान पहले भी नहीं था, आज भी नहीं है, और शायद यही मेरा कमिटमेंट है जो मुझे औरों से अलग करता है।
Hello, I'm Mrinalini.
I'll tell you your friend.
I'm born and raised in the States, but I'm also Gujarati. And I have to say that I want to thank you for what you've done for the development in Gujarat. I can see it, my family can see it, and I think that's fantastic, and it makes me proud to be associated with Gujarat. The events, however, in 2002 were heartbreaking. And I don't see today you utilizing your charisma and your leadership to heal what happened there. My question to you is, how are you taking the Islamic population and the Hindu population and leveraging your leadership to be able to heal what has happened?
What is the question?
It's a question, yeah. Because of, I think if I got it rightly, please tell me, that basically you're asking that what happened during that time was horrible, and how you are leveraging economic development to bring the two communities together, isn't it? I got it right?
She says, how are you going to heal the wounds of 2002?
How you are going to heal the wounds?
The wounds of the people, whether they are
Both the
Hindus or Muslims in
No, but
Gujarat.
that's why both the communities had said.
Both
Both the
communities.
communities.
It's the human side of it. How are you going to take the Islamic community, the people who have been hurt, the Hindus who have been hurt, and you as the leader, pull these communities together and heal what has happened?
Yeah. जो घाव कैसे भरेंगे आप, जो डेवलपमेंट इतना हो रहा है?
जितना मैं समझ पाया, एक तो पिछले 2002 की घटना की जो आप चर्चा कर रहे हैं, उसके बाद हमारे यहाँ आईएम में एक प्रोफेसर का भाषण था, और वो शायद भारत सरकार में किसी व्यवस्था में है, मैं नाम तो भूल गया हूँ। उन्होंने भाषण करते हुए कहा कि मैं गुजराती नहीं हूँ, लेकिन मेरे मन की बात आज मैं बोलना चाहता हूँ। ही इज ए मुस्लिम। उन्होंने कहा कि आप गुजरात में 100 मुसलमान को पूछिए कि भाई आप यहाँ जितना कमाते हो, जैसे रहते हो, यहाँ से हम आपको बिहार या उत्तर प्रदेश या महाराष्ट्र ले जा करके रखने के लिए व्यवस्था करते हैं, और जवाब में 100 में से आपको एक व्यक्ति नहीं मिलेगा जो कहेगा कि मैं गुजरात छोड़ के जाना चाहता हूँ। और उन्होंने कहा कि मैं बिहार, उत्तर प्रदेश या हिंदुस्तान के किसी भी राज्य में जाकर के 100 मुसलमान को पूछूं कि यहाँ जो व्यवस्था है वैसी व्यवस्था आपको गुजरात में मिलेगी, आप जाने को तैयार हो क्या? उन्होंने कहा कि मैं दावे से कहता हूं 50% से अधिक लोग गुजरात जाने को तैयार हो जाएंगे। ये एक सच्चाई है गुजरात की। और इसलिए, लेकिन जो लोग इसी से रोजी रोटी कमाते हैं, उनके घाव भरने के लिए मेरे पास कोई व्यवस्था नहीं है। जो दिल्ली में बैठते हैं, इंटरनेशनल सेमिनार में जाते हैं, बढ़िया अंग्रेजी बोल लेते हैं, उनके लिए मेरे पास उनके घाव भरना मुश्किल है।
हमारी
लेकिन मेरे
तरफ तो
राज्य के जो नागरिक हैं,
हमारी तरफ तो
उनके
उंगली नहीं
उनके घाव भर चुके हैं। वो प्रेम के साथ बहुत तरक्की कर रहे हैं, आगे बढ़ रहे हैं।
मैं इसका एक ही जवाब दूंगा आपसे। मैं ये कहूंगा, घाव वक्त से भरे जाते हैं, मगर जितना हम इसको उभारते जाएंगे तो घाव को उठाते जाएंगे तो खून बहता जाएगा। वक्त आ गया है कि अब हमें ऐसी घटनाओं को भूलना चाहिए और सिर्फ ये याद रखना चाहिए कि ऐसी घटना फिर हमारे देश में कहीं ना हो। वही एक रास्ता है।
I think that's what Narendra Bhai made a comment in the beginning. अगर पुरानी शैली को लेके चलेंगे तो गड़बड़ होती रहेगी। यही कहा था शायद आपने।
हम अंग्रेजी अच्छी बोल लेते हैं मगर हम कोई ऐसी भाषा नहीं बोलते जिसमें कि देश कमजोर हो जाए।
Apart from whatever may have happened in the past, today, in today's Gujarat, after all the successes which you have had and the admiration which you obviously enjoy from not only from the people of Gujarat, but from the business community throughout India, from all sections for the development, for what you've done for the girl child in Gujarat, etc. But is it true that many people who left their places, their villages, their homes, their bastis, have not returned even today and are still not resettled in their homes of people who left in 2002?
ये एक झूठ फैलाया जा रहा है, वो सही नहीं है। एक चल रहा है, अब वो सुप्रीम कोर्ट में भी मामला उसका चल रहा है, एक ह्यूमन राइट कमीशन भी उसको देख रहा है और गुजरात सरकार ने उसकी डिटेल दी है। ये सरासर फैलाई हुई बातें हैं।
आपका कहना है कि सब वापस अपनी बस्तियों में आ गए हैं?
सब लोग जिनको जहां रहना सुविधाजनक है वहां आराम से सुख से रह रहे हैं।
पर वापस लौट गए हैं?
जिनको जाने की इच्छा है, व्यवस्था है, जो चाहता है कि अहमदाबाद में अच्छी जिंदगी मिल गई, वो जाना नहीं चाहता है तो वो वहां रहना पसंद करेगा, तो उसके लिए भी व्यवस्था है। उसकी मर्जी के अनुसार व्यवस्था है। अगर वो चाहता है कि गांव की जिंदगी जीना है, वापस जाना चाहता है, तो वो भी व्यवस्था है। वो अगर कहता है नहीं अब शहर में सुखी हूं, तो वो भी व्यवस्था है। और हमने किसी पे कंपेल नहीं करना चाहिए।
नहीं, कंपेल नहीं, लेकिन
हाँ,
अगर
वो अपनी मर्जी से अपने सुख से जी रहा है।
थैंक यू।
मैं निखिल कुमार हूं, मैं कांग्रेसी सांसद हूं बिहार से, मेरा क्षेत्र है औरंगाबाद। मोदी जी ने कहा, किसी मुस्लिम प्रोफेसर साहब ने ये कहा था, ये क्लेम किया था कि अगर बिहार में मुसलमानों से पूछा जाए कि क्या आप जाकर के गुजरात में जो व्यवस्था है उस पर रहना चाहेंगे, तो सब कहेंगे, कम से कम आधे ज़्यादा कहेंगे कि जाएंगे। मैं सांसद हूं और मैं अपने लोगों से जुड़ा हुआ हूं। मैं अपने क्षेत्र की बात बता रहा हूं। उनसे जब गुजरात की बात करता हूं मोदी जी, तो कतई वहां जाने को तैयार नहीं होते। ये अगर जो उन साहब ने ऐसी बात कही है तो बहुत गलत बात कही है, और ये मैं आपकी नोटिस में इसलिए ला रहा हूं कि कोई मुगालता न रह जाए कि जो कुछ हो रहा है गुजरात में उसको बाहर के लोग अप्रूव करते हैं। और जो मैं कह रहा हूं ये कोई गलत बयानी नहीं है, ये कोई प्रोपेगेंडा नहीं है, ये सत्य है और ये यथार्थ है। और रह गई बात, जो कुछ हुआ 2002 में, वो बहुत बुरा था, जघन्य अपराध था। और ये सिर्फ मैं नहीं कह रहा हूं, ये मुल्क का उच्चतम न्यायालय कहता है। और उस उच्चतम न्यायालय ने गुजरात में चल रहे केसेस को वहां चलने नहीं दिया, वहां से हटा करके महाराष्ट्र भेज दिया। अगर मैं होता मुख्यमंत्री उस राज्य का तो मैं रिजाइन करता और मैं कहता कि साहब जब हमारे शासन में उच्चतम न्यायालय को विश्वास नहीं है तो मुझे कोई हक नहीं है इस राज्य का मुख्यमंत्री बने रहने का।
आरजेडी के महाशय से और तो मैं कुछ सलाह मिल नहीं सकती, मुझे यही मिलेगी। लेकिन आज भी मेरे राज्य में आज भी कांग्रेस के हैं फिर तो 1% ज्यादा होंगे। मित्रों, आज भी गुजरात में बिहार के इतने मुसलमान रोजाना आते हैं, रोजाना आज भी, जो मेरे यहाँ रोजी रोटी कमाते हैं, और मुझे गर्व है कि मेरे गुजरात के अंदर इन सबको रोजी रोटी मिलती है। वो आपके क्षेत्र में काफी पिछड़ापन होगा, शायद गुजरात जाने का हौसला नहीं रहा होगा उनका।
Anyway, Nikhil, this is.
Are you asking a
No, debating, it's not, it's a question we have to ask, not debate.
Rahul says, I'm the closest supporter of Narendra Modi. I'm glad to accept that fact that I am his closest supporter. But having said that, various questions have come up all evening on Hindu, Muslim, are Muslims happy in Gujarat and so on and so on, and whether Bihar people would be willing to come to Gujarat. I am building a steel plant there. In Gujarat, we have 16,000 workers working, building that plant. None of us have asked them where they come from. It doesn't matter whether they are from Bihar, they are from Orissa, they are from Gujarat. Nobody asks. The reality on the ground is that it is not pertinent whether you are a Muslim or a Hindu to get a job in that state. One. Two, we have, under his leadership, built 500 kilometers of canals of the Narmada. Nobody has gone and asked who at the end of the canal is going to drink that water. Is it going to be a Muslim or a Hindu? All we remember is the millions of lamps that were lit when that water arrived in distant villages like Morbi, like Kutch. That is the development. I sincerely request all the people here who have opinion on Gujarat, before forming an opinion, please come and see it for yourself, and after that make a comment. Thank you.
I don't know whether I'll be able to express myself correctly on this, but as I understand, Article 370 puts restrictions on Indians, the rest of India, moving into Kashmir. It doesn't put any restrictions on Kashmiris moving into the rest of India. That being the case, why is it that a nationalist like you has confined himself only to Kashmir and has not moved down to India?
The people who are responsible for me not moving into the rest of the country are here, sitting here, of the two parties that are here. That is one answer.
But your son was the minister here.
Now, the question of 370. 370 does not bar you from having land there. It gives you land for 99 years lease, which can be extended to kingdom come. This was because the people are extremely poor, and the realization was at that time that till the majority gets, makes money enough so that they don't have to sell their lands and move into the mountains. Thus, this was made at that time. At the time of India's independence, the leaders of that time gave that state that opportunity to have these laws for the good of the state. Who knows? I cannot go beyond this because elections are coming in my state, and the very parties that are going to fight against me, what I'm going to say next, they're going to use this for me. So please ask me not to go beyond this.
Honest enough. That is
enough.
I am in business and I respect politicians. I run a company called BSNL, which connects India, and I know how difficult it is to connect India. How difficult it is.
Are you from BSNL?
Sir.
In my state, the BSNL is in a very poor show. Please improve.
We'll improve it, sir. We'll improve it, sir. I go there and try to do that. But the point which I'm trying to bring is, it's very difficult to connect India. It is very difficult to bring everybody together and then manage growth and manage the politics. So my first response is that I respect politicians, people who rule. It's very, very difficult. Now, there is a very small question which I want to raise, which perhaps has not been raised by this House, which is on the nuclear agreement. I think there has to be a consensus on that, and therefore, I would like to have the view of the panelists. मैं मोदी साहब के लिए हिंदी में उसका अनुवाद भी करूँगा. एक तो ये कि मैं राजनीतिज्ञों का बहुत आदर करता हूँ, क्योंकि इस देश में इतना ज़्यादा द्वंद्व है, इतना मतभेद है, कि उसको इकट्ठा करना कोई आसान काम नहीं है. एक दूसरा मेरा निवेदन ये है कि मैं आप सबसे ये जानना चाहूँगा कि न्यूक्लियर समझौते के बारे में आपके क्या विचार हैं. मुझे तो लगता है कि वो इस देश के भले में है और शायद सबको एक मत होकर उसका एक साथ मिलकर उसको सपोर्ट करना चाहिए.
वैसे ये न्यूक्लियर डील विषय तो नहीं है, पर न्यूक्लियर डील भी वोट बैंक पॉलिटिक्स हो सकती है.
बन सकता है. मुझे लगता है कि शायद है, वो जुड़ा हुआ है.
Sorry. Will you respond?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, I think the leader of the opposition today made it very clear that he does not oppose relationship with America. He also was of the idea that as far as nuclear deal was concerned, it was all right, but the strictures that are there, that you cannot have Pokhran 3, and that we cannot do any more testing, and for that we have to ask permission from those people, is the thing that is really what is affecting us. And let me also say one thing very clearly. The party that is on my right, they will forgive me for saying so, have not been able to tell the nation very frankly what does it hold. If you ask a man on the street, what is nuclear deal? He says, nuclear deal bahut kharab hai. Why is it bad? He says, because they're all saying it. The point is, we politicians have failed to tell the people what are the benefits to this nation from this treaty. If they could explain, I mean, we have had no discussion in the parliament which is of really consequence, where we parliamentarians could understand what does Hyde Act, in how does Hyde Act affect us? Is there a way that we can go around it or something like this? This is something I'm telling you as frankly as myself. If I cannot understand nuclear treaty, how will my rickshaw driver or my driver, who is really the voter? The industrialist is not a voter who is sitting here. None of them stand in the line, except Bajaj must be standing in line. But I'm telling you frankly, it is they who vote, and they do not know whether it is good for the nation or bad for the nation. So what we politicians need, and I think what they need to do, is to go to the common man so he understands what this deal really is and how does India benefit from this.
But Farooq, you are not giving your opinion. Are you for it or against it?
No, I can't give my opinion. I've got elections coming.
No, the point is very clear. The nuclear deal is good and good for the country. He may be right to a certain extent that we may not be able to explain in its right perspective. But the fact is, the earlier India government was prepared to strike an agreement or deal for much lesser than what we have bargained for. So this is nothing new. It's just a doublespeak, continuous doublespeak of my dear friends.
No, I want to say one thing more. While as we had Rajiv Gandhi, as charismatic leader, let us not forget the other great leader of the BJP, who no longer is now going to lead the nation. Vajpayee was and still remains charismatic. When in Hindi he spoke and his eyes went like this, many used to just fall because his language was so good, unbelievable. And he was really lady killer.
देखिए न्यूक्लियर डील के संबंध में आज सुबह भी अडवाणी जी ने बताया, ऐसा फारूक साहब ने कहा। बाकी तो चलिए बीजेपी का अपना स्टैंड हो सकता है, लेकिन कम से कम कांग्रेस पार्टी यूपीए के अपने पार्टनरों को तो समझाए क्या कर रहे हैं, उनको तो साथ लें, बाद में देश को समझाएं और दलों को बाद में समझाएं। जिनके भरोसे वो सरकार चला रहे हैं उनको तो कन्विंस करें वो क्या कर रहे हैं, वो भी नहीं कर पा रहे हैं।
नहीं, बात समझाने की नहीं, समझाए हैं, कोई समझना नहीं चाहे वो दूसरी बात होती है। लेकिन प्रश्न इस बात का है कि आपकी सरकार जब थी, आप मुझसे कई बिंदु ऐसे थे जिसमें कि आप समझौता करने के लिए तैयार थे, आप क्यों पलट गए?
Sir, I'd like to come back to your
even
original
gracious
discussion
host
on voting banks. I'd like just to point out to you, I'm Ken Hansraj from New York. Why is the Hindus voting as a bloc and the Muslims voting as a bloc? Why is it any different from when the Middle America Christians vote as a bloc or the Israelis in America vote as a bloc? Why is that any different?
No, in India, Hindus don't vote as a bloc and the Muslims also don't vote as a bloc. They don't vote as a bloc.
Do you agree that they vote as a bloc? Hindus and Muslims?
There are political parties, those who want to create this vote blocks.
I think both of them create vote blocks.
My main objective of attending this was to understand what trends are going to come about, because we as the youth, we need to see what we need to foresee. So we have the third front coming up, which will also capitalize on vote bank politics. But what do you foresee? Do you think, because vote bank politics goes with secularism, it's entwined. So is it here to stay, and how can we reduce it? Education, yes. We can reduce it by education, but what else can we do? What should we foresee to reduce the impact of vote bank politics?
Training of leaders. It is very important for the political parties that are leading this nation that they should train younger leaders with the new thought and new line.
Yeah. Well, as far as I'm concerned, I've already said politics of inclusion. Let every citizen of this country feel that he belongs to this country and he's got his hopes and aspirations to do well in this country.
Long-term vision and development.
These are two messages you would like to give. Muzi, I have a question for you, because in the morning these questions were put to Mr. Advani also, but somehow we couldn't get answer which would satisfy. What is there in the BJP for the young generation in India? Because 2/3 of the population is less than 35-year-old. What have you got to give it to the young leadership? Have you got anything different?
देखिए आज जो 21वीं सदी किसकी होगी इसकी जो चर्चा हो रही है, उसमें एशिया पर ध्यान जाता है, फिर चाइना पे जाता है, हिंदुस्तान पे जाता है। हमारा जो सबसे बड़ा एडवांटेज है वो हिंदुस्तान यंग है। हम यंग यानी सिर्फ एज वाइज है इतना नहीं, हम आज के युग में जिस टैलेंट ने दुनिया को डोमिनेट किया है उसको हम रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं। और तीसरा, हजारों साल की यहाँ की एक सांस्कृतिक विरासत रही है कि हिंदुस्तानी नौजवान हो या हिंदुस्तानी व्यक्ति हो, वो बदलती हुई चीज़ों को एब्सॉर्ब करने की, स्वीकार करने की एक बहुत बड़ी ऊंची ताकत रखता है। और इस चीज़ों को, ये जो नेचुरल हमारी टैलेंट और क्वालिटीज़ हैं, उसको ध्यान में रखते हुए देश की युवा शक्ति को वैश्विक परिवेश में तैयार करना चाहिए। एक तरफ दुनिया 100 करोड़ के देश को मार्केट बनाने में तुला हुआ है, हमने युवा जगत को दुनिया को मार्केट बना करके हिंदुस्तान को दुनिया में मार्केटिंग कैसे हो उस दिशा में ले जाने का प्रयास करना चाहिए, उसको ग्लोबल पर्सपेक्टिव में लीड करने के लिए तैयार करना चाहिए।
Leaders here spoke. They all spoke goody. As if that there is nothing wrong in the society, and what they
Question,
are,
please, question.
Yeah, question is that they haven't represented the truth which exists. In other words, the words did not convey the facts which exist in our society. That's the question.
What is the question? I'm still
Question
not.
is that, of course,
Jhagada
the
society?
no. Kind of society we have. Society divided on caste line, creed line, regional line. What are the problems leaders
बहुत सारे
face?
क्वेश्चन मैं समझ गया आप क्वेश्चन की
That they have not answered. They think that, of course, unless until we change the society, we haven't discussed about how to change the society. That role, government is what deserves. Politicians are what the masses are.
नहीं आंसर अच्छा गिरिराज जी बैठिए अब आपका क्वेश्चन आई थिंक दे हैव आंसर्ड द क्वेश्चन मोदी said development can change the society. Farooq Saab said you should not use Allah belong to Muslims. They have made certain points, but now I'm concluding the session. Farooq Saab, short question again. आप लोगों ने admit किया, all of you are honest enough to admit there is a vote politics. Whether you play or not, I'm not giving comment again because you all will say no, we don't play. But there is a voting politics. Will it end soon or not? Yes or no?
Well, to say,
No ifs and buts.
To say that it will end soon, I don't see it.
Digvijay Singh ji,
Yes, it can.
it can, but it will not.
It can.
Vote bank politics.
Of course, it's a challenge, but we must try our level best.
But will it end or not?
To end it, we must try our level best.
Anyway, it's again, I didn't get any clear answer from them because they deviated. Modi have also said we must try. Okay, that's a challenge. I'm leaving
Prabhu,
it here.
can I just leave these people with one good thought?
Yeah, only Farooq was honest.
Yesterday, I was traveling from Srinagar to Delhi, and I want you to also hear. There was a young girl with her mother studying in DPS school in Kashmir. And now, I just asked her, what are you doing why are you coming to Delhi? She said, I want to join DPS in Delhi. I said, why do you want to join DPS in Delhi? Muslim girl. I want to have an exposure that I cannot get in Kashmir. I'll get an exposure in Delhi. And I said, what is your intention? I want to be a leader. I want to guide the destinies of people. I said, of who? Kashmiris? She said, no, of India. I'll leave you with that thought.
Oh, Shekhar, yeah. Okay.
No, I'm intervening because I can't let Mr. Digvijay Singh get away with the statement that dynastic rule in India is the same as in America. Because every Wednesday morning we wake up to watch the results of the previous day's primaries. Democratic Party is seeing the most vicious internal competition for leadership. When was the last time anybody in your party challenged a member of the Gandhi family for leadership and lived to tell the tale? Hang on.
One minute.
Hang on, sir, hang on. I'm not judgmental about it because other parties in India have dynastic politics, but they don't indulge in the hypocrisy of saying we elect our leaders. Mr. Farooq Abdullah's son is his successor. Mr. Mulayam Singh Yadav's son will be his successor. In DMK, there is a fight for succession, but it's all within the members of the dynasty. And they never say we elect anybody. So that is one point. So let's not trivialize another country's political system because chances are Hillary will lose. Having said that, I have one question to ask each one of you. There was a defining political statement made last year, Maut ke Saudagar. Now, can each one of you answer this in one sentence and one word, yes or no? Was that statement a statement of vote bank politics or a statement challenging vote bank politics?
Yeah. Good question.
So, okay, I'll take it first. As far as the dynastic rule theory is concerned, well, we are a political party, we have our elections, and why does it affect anyone if we elect Mrs. Sonia Gandhi as our leader? It's not your concern, it is a concern of our political party, number one. Number two, wherever they have reached on the basis of free and fair election in this country, and they have not been nominated. Number two, as far as the Maut ka Saudagar statement is concerned, it was a statement made in Gujarat on the issue where there was a communal carnage in 2002, and I was very amused when Mr. Advani made that famous statement that Narendra Bhai is not cannot be a merchant of death, but he can be a Hitler.
Well, as far as I go, I'd like to just say one thing. Why do you only target politicians that they have dynastic rules? What about Bajaj? He is a businessman. His children are running also. Why don't you catch him? Why don't you grab Hinduja family? They run the thing. These are few people I can name, Birlas for instance. Now nobody targets them and says family rule.
Ruyas.
Or Ruyas. And they say family rule. और जहाँ politician देखा family rule. अरे क्या फिर हम जहन्नम में जाए? कहाँ जाए? I don't know whether he has never introduced me to his wife. I do not know. Are you married, sir?
No, that's
because I do not know. That is a tragedy. We do not know about each other. So unless we know whether he loves music, he loves the good things of life, how can I say whether I can get on with him or not? So please, do not talk of dynastic rule. You should talk of dynastic rule as such. As far as that phrase, that you are the angel of death.
Merchant of death.
Merchants of death.
Merchant of
Merchant of death. Well, I don't know who told her to say he's merchant of death. That was a very bad statement. Because how can he be merchant of death? If he was merchant of death, I would have sent him across and said, well, get on with the job there.
वैसे फारूक साहब सिंह मैं बोलूंगा कुछ नहीं, इलेक्शन है, पर बहुत कुछ नहीं यहाँ पर, सब टेप हो रहा है आपका.
I just wanted to know, are you married? You're not married? तो फिर आपको कैसा डायनेस्टिक रूल होएगा? आपका तो कभी होएगा ही नहीं.
जवाब दीजिए सर. मर्चेंट ऑफ डेथ वोट बैंक को रोकने के लिए किया गया था या वोट बैंक बनाने के लिए किया गया था?
मुझे लगता है कि जब मैं 2002 में चुनाव लड़ रहा था तो ये हमारे कांग्रेस के मित्र भाषण करते थे मोदी डेवलपमेंट की बात क्यों नहीं कर रहा है, और मैं 2007 की बात कर रहा चुनाव लड़ रहा था तो हमारे कांग्रेस के मित्र, मैं डेवलपमेंट की बात करता था तो किसी भी हालत में उस दिशा में जाने को तैयार नहीं थे. पूरे डिबेट में कांग्रेस हमेशा डेवलपमेंट के विषय से भागती रही. अब उनके पास कोई मुद्दा तो था नहीं, कोई एलिगेशन लगाना संभव नहीं था. घिसी-पिटी कैसेट गुजरात की जनता को कन्विंस नहीं कर पा रही थी. मुझे लगता है तब उन्होंने गुजरात के चुनाव की तो आशा छोड़ दी थी, लेकिन वो गुजरात के बाहर के अपनी वोट बैंक को एड्रेस करना चाहते थे. तो ये मैदान तो गुजरात बनाया था, लेकिन खेल वो आउट ऑफ गुजरात लड़ रहे थे. तो गुजरात वो गंवा चुके थे. उनको लगता था गुजरात के बाहर ये चीजें शायद काम कर जाएगी, लेकिन खैर उनका झूठ कितने दिन चलेगा, नसीब हो गया खेल पूरा.
Okay, thank you all of you. I think it was a good debate. We never got a conclusion, and there is a vote bank policy.